Well, hello again everyone, and here we are back with the 350 BSA Gold Star, and I've had the exhaust pipe off and the timing cover off to have a look in there. Earlier on I made some adjustments to the push rods. There was actually, I'd set them to no valve clearance at all, but with the push rods just able to spin, as is often the case for the Royal Enfield bullets. But looking into it in a bit more detail and doing a bit of research and googling and whatever, it turns out that perhaps I needed to set a massive 3/1000th of an inch clearance. So anyway, I've done that. 3/1000 is very little, but it's actually made a difference to the resistance on the kickstart, because we've got such a long inlet valve timing and such a late closing period for the inlet valve that with no clearance at all on the push rods or rockers, the inlet valve was shutting so late it didn't feel like there was much in the way of compression on the kickstart. So we're just opening up just that tiny 3/1000 clearance. That's brought back quite a bit of resistance at the kickstart, so I'm happy about that. I also, before I did that, I checked and just nipped the cylinder head nuts down, because obviously we took that short run the other day, which was its first time out since I had the top end apart and rebuilt it with a new head gasket and everything. So it's been nipped down and the valve clearances have been checked and set, so I'm happy with those. But I thought I'd just take a look at the ignition timing and just satisfy myself that was okay, and I'm glad I did, because it seemed very, very advanced. And when I rode this machine on the road, I actually thought that perhaps the ignition timing was a little bit retarded. It felt a little bit flat somehow, but that could have been down to the valve clearances maybe. But anyway, where I was expecting to find the ignition timing might not be advanced enough, I found the flip side of that, that it was over advanced by quite some margin actually. I think we were going off at about 15mm before top dead centre on full advance. Now again, my good friend Google and things I've seen tell me, and I've seen people quoting the manual with the ignition timing being 15-30 seconds of an inch, which roughly translates, or very nearly spot on translates, to 12mm actually. So 12mm before top dead centre in the grand scheme of things is a hell of a lot less than 15. So I've backed it off anyway, and we've now got it going off at 12mm before top dead centre on full advance. Also, as a little sort of side matter to doing a timing, I also found out that the little lock nut there that you're supposed to do up after setting your points gap was loose and flopping around. So the points gap may well have been changing itself randomly, but even if not, obviously the days would have been numbered until some sort of fun and games developed, or the engine stopped completely if the contact came undone or whatever. Anyway, so I put all that right and I gapped the points at 12/1000ths of an inch when they're fully open. That white mark there, hopefully the camera might pick it up, that, when that lines up right through the centre of the contacts, that is the moment that the points break open on the magneto at full advance. So I've set my timing so that when I'm 12mm before top dead centre, the points are breaking open. And what I like to do is operate the advance retard lever. Now full advance is slack wire, so when I retard the lever, we should maybe just see the slightest movement of the points and just see them close, because they're very, very slightly open, only a whisker. That's retard, advance, retard, advance. I think you can just about see them just twitch a little. Retard, advance. So that is the moment that the points break open, and that is 12mm before top dead centre. And if I bring the engine round to top dead centre, we'll see the plunger come up. There we are, we're at top dead centre there now, and that's how much further round the magneto is rotated. I hope my light on this head torch isn't too bright that it spoils the picture. I hope we can see something, but I'm happy with that timing now, and I've got my points gap at 12,000ths of an inch. So I'm going to take this plunger out, I'm going to put my spark plug back in. Always take the plunger out before you make the mistake of maybe leaving it in and turning the engine, and you never know, it might go far enough that a valve tries to open and might hit the stem of this, and then you might cause yourself more headaches. So I'll get the spark plug in there now, get the timing cover on, and I'm hoping that the timing will be set precisely as it should be, and this engine might even give somewhat better performance than it did the other day, because it went well enough, but it seemed a little bit lackluster and sort of unwilling to do much unless you really wrung its neck. So I'm hoping between the valve adjustments and the timing adjustment we might have taken a couple of steps in the right direction to perk it up a little bit. And when I've got that all done, someday soon perhaps, I might be able to get it out there and try it out again and hopefully notice some difference. But that's where we're at for now. Spark plug back in, timing cover back on. I'll start the engine and run it, but I'm not going to ride it anywhere today. It's starting to go dark, it's a horrible wet day, so that'll have to be done another time. That's where we are at the moment and where I'm wrapping it up for the day.